Good morning, my friends. We are out early in the garden today, and that's going to make this job a little bit harder. But I can only do this job first thing in the morning. So I need to cut back all of this today. It is just insane. So we're gonna do a lot of work in the front yard today. I want to cut all of this back, mainly the lavender, and I think I'm gonna end up pulling it and tossing it. I'm gonna wait till this fall time. I'm still gonna leave them for now. I'm just gonna shear them back until I can decide what I actually want to do, if I actually want to pull them. This variety was supposed to bloom like crazy, and it was supposed to have better blooms, and the blooms didn't bloom very well, and it bloomed one time for me. So I just haven't been super impressed with it, which is such a bummer because I was so excited about it. It's called the Princess, and it is beautiful the first year that it bloomed for me. This year when it bloomed for me, it was not beautiful. The blooms just kind of looked underwhelming, and then they browned, and then they held on to their blooms, and it was just such a bummer because it was supposed to be the perfect little compact size lavender. Like, that's supposed to be the mature size, and now I can barely walk in my walkway. So I got to get this all cleaned up today. Most lavenders you want to prune 2 times a year. You want to prune it in the fall time. So usually about this time. Usually it's 4 to 6 weeks before your first frost comes. I'm doing it pretty early for me. We typically don't get our first frost until late November, sometimes the first week of December, if that. And so I'm doing it pretty early, but it has to happen because we can barely walk on the walkway now. Like, our walkway is just that big. It's a very small walkway. It's already a very small walkway to begin with, but this was already smaller. And I planted this lavender because it was supposed to stay small, and it has just flopped. I think part of it too is the petunias that I've got going on here and everything, but all of this is coming out today. Let me turn the camera around. So this is the very front of our house. I've got a wisteria growing here. I do need to get in here and I need to train it. I do want it to go this way, which I think I'm gonna end up fighting it to do that, because wisteria wants to go towards the sunlight, and the sun sets over this way, and when the sun is setting, this is when this area gets the most sun. You can see it's in the morning and there's no sun in my garden. That little bit right there is just peeking through a couple set of leaves, and that's it. But other than that, there's no sun up here in the morning time. So yeah, so anyways, by midday it's full sun, so I can plant full sun things up here. I really do want this wisteria to grow over here, come down up, and then go across over there like that. We will see if that is something that is possible. It also got spider mites really, really badly, and it has rebounded, but spider mite damage, unfortunately, is a permanent for that season damage. So the speckling on the leaves, the yellowing on the leaves, which is fine because we are at the end of the season anyways. That's not what this is all about. This is mostly about this lavender right here. We're gonna get this cut back. Normally I would go in with a electric hedge trimmer, but because it is so early on the weekend, I don't want to wake up my next door neighbors because that would be rude, and I have a great relationship with them. So what I'm gonna do is I am going in with my handy dandy trimmers. I don't know. These guys, I've had these. I picked them up from a yard sale for like $3 8 years ago, and they've worked great. I would love to have a better, sharper pair, but these ones have worked great, and so I don't see a reason to buy new ones. So we're going to cut this back. The ideal thing is to not cut into the woody stems on your lavender. Let me show you what that looks like. So all of this is new growth. The woody stem, oh gosh. See, these just look terrible. See how they flopped? Let me show you on a fresh one. So this is all the green, fresh growth. Woody stem you can see how this is kind of smooth. Usually this is a little bit more green, but this is where it's woody. It's right down here. This is very, very woody. Can you tell the difference? See how this is darker and this is a lighter color? That darker color, lighter color. There's just a slight difference in this. So this is the woody stem where you don't want to cut into. So we're gonna cut just above that. I'm just not the biggest fan of this. The smell isn't that amazing, but I guess it is what it is. The heartbreak is gonna be taking out the salvia because, see that? Those hummingbirds love this salvia. This is the Rockin' the Blues salvia, and we have hummingbirds up here all day long, but we literally cannot walk past this walkway because, sorry. because this is the walkway. Like, what is happening here? So everything is just flopping out. Plus the salvia here has scale really, really badly. So all of this right here, this is all scale, which is a pest. And I'm ready to pull all of this out anyways. This whole window, look at the hummingbird is still, there's two of them. This window box is from last year's window box. And so I wintered everything over. So I got 2 years out of everything in here, out of the petunias, out of the salvia, out of the dichondra. I'm just ready for it to have a fresh look. So it's all coming out today. So front cleanup of the garden for fall has started. I would like to find something else to go up here. If you guys have recommendations for things that stay very small, very compact, that either have really good flowers or really good smell, but it needs to stay very, very compact. I'm talking like 2 feet wide, needs to be its mature size, which is what this lavender I think was supposed to be, and it's definitely bigger than that. Okay, while this would be great, I'm gonna use the electric hedge trimmer. I've heard some of the neighbors are already up, so I heard some movement, so I'm gonna use it and trim these away because this is gonna take forever and be killer on the back. So Brent is bringing me the electric hedge trimmer right now, and then I am going to just cut this back right now because that'll make it easier to cut all of that back. And I am so ready to pull these lavender and just do something else. But I just want to cut them off first and then assess and then pull if I need to pull. Or do I just pull? Shoot. I think I just pull them, huh? Okay, I talked myself into it. I'm going to just try pulling them. If I can pull it out easy, great. If I can't, then I'm going to trim back and then I'll do it. But first I got to get this cut back first. Well, that might have escalated a lot, quickly, very fast. I just happened to be pulling the petunias that I threw on the ground. And then, well, I accidentally, not on accident, grabbed one of the lavenders and it just kind of just fell out of the ground. So I decided to pull all of them. And then I don't know if that last shot worked, because I came back to look at the camera and the camera was facing the sky. So I don't know if you saw me pull out the last one or not, but I did. I sat there and was trying to figure out, do I want to pull out this last one? I kind of like this last one. And then I decided to pull it out. I was like, it's got to go. It's got to come out. Now, let's go over a couple things. All of this right here is going to go into our yard waste bin. It's not going to be saved. It's not going into a compost bin. It's going to go into our yard waste where the local company takes it and then they incinerate it and then they turn it into compost or something. I don't know what they do with it. I think that's what they do with it. Don't quote me on anything. That cannot go to friends. I can't save the lavender. I can't send it to anyone. I can't give it to anyone. In case you haven't heard, I have worms and they're not good. They're bad worms. And so I would feel just wrecked inside if I accidentally gave somebody worms. So I have invasive worms. I don't give plants to people because I don't want to give somebody else invasive worms in their garden. So nothing on my property goes to anyone. I used to give plants away. I no longer do that because of the worm situation. My yard is on medication to take care of the worms. It's working, but it's a slow process. So until the worms are eradicated, nothing goes to anyone. Actually, honestly, probably even after the worms are eradicated, I still probably won't, just to be safe. I just don't want to give my friends worms. That's what it boils down to. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I think it's so funny that I have worms, and I have to say on camera, I have worms. I think it's so funny. It's like I have a tapeworm or something, but it's not me. It's my garden has worms. And there's dirt on my screen and I keep thinking it's on my face. We're doing really good today. Yes, I did have coffee, in case you were wondering. Okay, let's pull out the window box. I gotta go grab the yard waste bin because all of this will not fit in my pop-up bag. So I'm gonna grab the yard waste bin and clean out the window box right there. And my sweet, sweet man of a husband brought me the extension cord and the electric trimmer, and I told him that I would cut them back and then decide this springtime if I wanted to pull them or not. And then I lied. Shoot. Oh, that is weird. That is very weird. All I can say is I'm so glad I added those trellises, so that way there is some interest up here. But holy cow, that's crazy. That's weird. Oh, maybe I didn't make the wrong decision. I made the right decision. It's just shocking. That's all. That's all it is. It's just shocking. So my original plan for this area was boxwoods. I really wanted to do boxwoods up here. I thought that would be so nice. And yeah, I kind of wish that I had just done a hedge of boxwoods up here, because it would have been evergreen. It would have been pretty. The only issue is like boxwoods have a smell to them, and Brent can't stand that smell. Oh my gosh, that poor hummingbird. I'm so sorry. There's more salvia in the backyard. If you go to the back, I feel so bad, but there's so much up here for these guys to eat. They just love salvia. I'm a huge candidate for adding salvia into your garden. I just had those ones since last year. They needed to come out, but there's so much in my front yard that these hummingbirds can eat. I can't feel too guilty about just I took out 2 salvia plants. That was it. And now the front yard looks barren. It looks like we just moved in and I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fine. Okay, let me sweep that up really quick, and then we will move on. What I really want to do is trim up this tree, but I think I'm gonna wait and hire some tree trimmers to take out a couple trees, and I'll have them limb that thing up, because it needs to be limbed up on our side. Yeah, anyways, let me clean that up really quickly. Go ahead, Brett. Okay, there we go. All cleaned up. It feels clean. Before it was feeling overwhelming and messy. I guess I have to figure out what I want to go in here. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research. I need something low growing. You know what would be really fun to do next year is sun pations in here. I saw those when I was at Garden Crossings, and I think that would be so pretty in this area. So maybe that's what I'll leave this space blank for, is for some pations next year. And then this year, I can do something for fall in this area. Throw in a couple mums, go to Costco, pick up the ones that are like $17.99, pick up, 5 of them here, and then throw in a couple pumpkins. Perfect for fall time, and then do something really fall for the window box. I'm ready for cooler temperatures, hence why I'm in pants and a hoodie today, even though I probably should not be. I obviously need to repaint down here before I do any of that yeah. Okay, I think it's good. I think it's really good. I do need to come through and I need to repaint the window box. So I'll repaint the window box. I'll repaint the foundation down there. And I want to come through and sand it. So you can see there's lots of sap that came out of this. We didn't let the wood dry out before we used it. And so the sap came through. So I'll sand all of this off and then give it a fresh coat of paint. And we made these window boxes. So obviously I'll come through and re-sand down the knots that are on here, make it look good, and then you can see how we did this. So it's 3 of these super cheap plastic window boxes in here, and so that's how we were able to have such big plants in there, is because we had 3 small boxes in here. I mean, I would have loved to have had just one single tray in there, but not possible to find one that fit how we needed it. 3 of them worked beautifully. Do I wish they were a little bit deeper? Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it's fine. They're not like the biggest. So you can see like the size of my hand, and then they're as deep as my hand is. Deeper would be better. I couldn't do really wider in this area, but deeper would have been a little bit nicer if they were as deep as this. That's what I would like to do, is like maybe see about finding a way to make some metal ones or something like that for the other window boxes that I would like to create. Last step for today, actually, because the sun is going to hit the lawn in about 20 minutes. Because I'm dealing with worms, as you now know, you're welcome. I am going to go through with tea seed meal and my broadcaster. So we've been using 2 different methods for dealing with the jumping worms. So we're going to use the dry broadcast method, which is basically I put it in the broadcaster right here. This is what we use for our grass seed. And then I'm going to broadcast it into the lawn. And then tomorrow when our sprinklers go off, the tea seed meal will go in and it will kill the invasive worms, which is what we need to have happen here. And then we've also been using the like watering can method, where we put some of it into a watering can and then we put it in areas where we don't get rain here, and we don't have overhead irrigation. So I'd have to sit with the water for like 15-20 minutes to water in one bed with the tea seed meal. So we just go through, there's 2 different methods you can do. If you live in an area that is rainy, if you live in an area that is wet, or you have overhead watering, recommend doing the broadcasting. If you live in an area that is dry and you get less than 20 inches of rain like I get in a year, you can totally do the wet method, where you just put it in a watering can and then put it in your beds. I would recommend using the watering cans that have the spout. The spout. I'm really good at this gardening thing. The spout thingy, to make it so that the water kind of dispersed. I lost mine on my watering can. I don't know where it went, so I don't do that. But tea seed meal, it is from calendula, I believe is what it's from, and it's basically a fertilizer, but it just kills worms. It kills all worms, so you only want to do this if you are certain you have jumping worms. And then you do not want to do this if you live near a reservoir of water or a body of water and your water table runs into that water. So I don't live where my water runs into like the Sacramento River or anything like that, so we're good here. And then I think that's it. I think I covered everything. So I'm going to just fill this up and then broadcast this into the lawn area, because I am dealing with jumping worms. And I thought I wasn't going to find any in this bed right here. I found 1. So I know that they're in that bed. So good call on my part, not giving the lavender away to a friend, which is kind of a bummer. Feels like a waste of lavender, but that is life. And just like that, it is spread from the broadcaster. Very, very easy to do. And that should help take care of the worms in this area. I should not have to deal with them for a little while. We are going to do this at least once a month. The worms will die in the wintertime if you live in a cold climate. I don't live in a cold climate, so they don't die here, which is kind of the issue. So they can reproduce and breed year round here. This is a great environment for these worms, which is not good. So we're going to be doing this at least once a month, because what happens is there's a bee attacking my phone. What happens is the eggs, the worms mate, they lay eggs, and that turns into cocoons the way I'm understanding it. The cocoons winter over. And so in colder climates, you want to do this before they hatch in the spring. So you want to do this right after they wake up, which is hard to time it. But you want to do it before they start breeding, because if you do it after they start breeding and they lay eggs, that means you have a whole nother cycle of worms coming. So here, because we don't get cold, I'm gonna have to do it a couple times throughout the year. I'm gonna have to do it probably like 5 to 6 times. I'm doing it every like other month because of the way the eggs hatch. So I'm hoping that this kills this batch of worms, and then any eggs that they have laid, I will miss, but I will get them on the next round. And on the next round, they should not have had enough time to lay eggs, but there could have been some worms that didn't die from this cycle. And so it's kind of a vicious cycle. I gotta just keep up on it. The stuff isn't cheap, but we gotta do it. But it seems to work really, really well. When I turn my sprinklers on, the worms tend to just come straight up, and then they flop over, and they die. It has a thing called spinoscids in it, I believe is what it is. And that is what basically destroys the worms. Unfortunately, it will kill every worm, so it's going to kill the good worms also. But at the end of the day, the bad worms are going to deplete my ground of all the good nutrients and make it so that the good worms die anyways, because they won't have anything to eat. And so, yeah, it's just a super vicious cycle. So I do have to kill everything. Some of the earthworms that are really deep will probably make it. Fingers crossed for them, because jumping worms only reside in the first couple inches, like 3 to 5 inches of soil, where earthworms will go deeper than that. So I'm hoping that they make it. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna turn the irrigation on now and have fun watching these guys disappear. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I guess I got to do some shopping now and figure out what is going to go in the front window box and what I'm going to do for the ground down there. I'm very excited for fall. Very, very ready for fall. My next big cleanup needs to be the front of the house. Let me show you that before I say goodbye, actually. When I tell you there's plenty enough food for the hummingbirds, I mean there's plenty enough food for the hummingbirds. There are petunias galore, there is gomphrena galore, there's verbena galore, there are zinnias galore. There's plenty enough food for these guys to be able to eat things up here. They just really, really, really like salvia. So that's why I plant so much salvia in the garden. But, I mean, it looks great up here, and there's a lot. I think everything is just... The petunias up here look fabulous. These ones... I can't remember which ones, I can't remember the variety they are, but these have been one of the better performing ones this year. We've been spraying with BT. They haven't really got too much budworm damage up here, which has been really, really nice. They were kind of slow to take off, but once they did take off, they took off really, really well, and I'm very happy with them. This is a Oklahoma salmon zinnia, and this is a volunteer zinnia. I'm going to save seed from this one. I love this zinnia so much. I'm actually probably going to start harvesting on some of these and make some flower arrangements for some neighbors and friends and things like that, because it's just a very, very great one to just kind of like tuck into flower arrangements. But I think the gomphrena is starting to look tired. The verbena is looking fabulous. And what's funny is I have a Super Tunia Vista bubblegum in here that could not keep up with the vigor of the gomphrena and the verbena in here. So really, really funny that they swallowed the bubblegum. That's not usually something that you see happen. So kind of crazy. But either way, I've been very, very happy with these. The container is about this big, so you can see how much growth there actually is on this. So now I will say goodbye. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming along with me and visiting our garden. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.